I'm with the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, Bwana Shadrack Maluki. And of course, on this particular show, we are delving much deeper into the works and the goings in, of course, of the National Olympic Committee. Remember, of course, they run so many, they put together so many sports federations, and we are heading into the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. And as usual, Kenya is usually on the map. And that's why I have him on this particular set, just to discuss about the road and the path to Olympics. Yes. Los Angeles 2028. I'm very excited because mimi najua angalau finally kavisa kangu katapata stamp. Yeah, but of course I understand already the Resource Mobilization Commission, yes, led by the president of GOtv Kenya, yes, Philip Ochola, recently was in the US. Yes. And there were positive reports from there. You can share with us about that. And I understand, of course, the team also from US are also coming to visit us on the same conversation. This must be very good news. Unaweza tuambie nini? What is going on? What did they discuss? What are the findings from the US?
Thank you very much, Kolada.
Yes.
Ideally, when we took COVID, I realized that we've got challenges in terms of pathway, yes, to Olympics, yes, or pathway to all the major games, yes, because of the funds. So you find, for example, a good example I will tell you is judo, for example. Yes. When you have 7 athletes who are supposed to go, because the weight categories are 7. So you are supposed to have a team of not less than 7 athletes going to compete to earn points. Yes. So the government sometimes, and I say they support a lot. Yes. I'm not saying government doesn't support. Yes. Government supports all the time. But you find the resources sometimes from the government are not enough. True. So you end up sending 3 athletes instead of 7. In what criteria have you used to send these are three athletes from the 7 weight categories? So it's a picky ponky.
And of course we are not in the picky business.
We are not in that business.
Yes.
So you just pick 3, but now the 4 you have left, yes, you have really discouraged them.
Oh yes, so, you killed them.
So you find, and the athlete has a very small window, especially when it comes to martial arts. The window is very tiny. It's 4 or 5 years, you are done. So maximum is maybe 2 Olympics. You can't do more than 2 Olympics. Because these are physical games, where you use your strength and a lot of, pull and push.
Yes, yes.
So you find we needed now to ensure that every athlete represents a country or feels that is getting, or he or she is getting all the support. True. So we came up with a commission led by Philip Ochola, president of GOtv, of Resource Mobilization. And he has put up a beautiful team, a team of men and women, dignified men and women of this country, who are now meeting every other day at the National Olympic Committee, coming up with the plans of how we can have funds to ensure that there is no deficiency in terms of supporting our athletes. Because if you remember in my manifesto, it was very clear that I'm athlete-oriented, because I'm a former athlete myself. I know what I would have been if I had all that support. And I don't want any athlete in this country to go what we went through then. I want every athlete to feel their talent counts. The support is there fully from the National Olympic Committee, together with the government. And we are working very closely with the government of Kenya, through the minister, Mheshimiwa Muvuria, who understands where we are coming from, and that's why he also came to this symposium, because he has put sports as a priority. Following the footsteps of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, who you have seen, he has also demonstrated what sports is in his heart.
Yes. Very true. And of course, I know in the US, where of course the Resource Mobilization Commission was, US are very good in terms of science, yes, in terms of using technology to prepare their athletes. And that's of course one of the ways, or what is in your manifesto, to try and ensure that our athletes don't just train physically, but the sports science technology is put into their preparation. How is that so far, of course, in terms of preparing, now that also that is the kind of topic we are having even in our Secretary Generals and the President's conference?
Thank you, Kolanda. When I sent Philip Ochola to US to discuss about funding, that was also key. And that is why those guys are coming to Kenya on 17th. They will be coming to Kenya on 17th to sign a memorandum, MOU with us. It's advanced. And that is how you find, once you get the resources, now the issues of employing technology comes on board. Because the lack of employing technology has always because of lack of resources. Because you need equipment, you need people, you need scientists, you need a team that will study our weaknesses in terms of performance, evaluating every now and then after every event our team. For example, I'll tell you, Kolanda, when you look at steeplechase, it's an event we are.
It was a cup of coffee any day. Kwanza Ezekiel Kemboi akizungusha tu pale ulikuwa unajua tumeweka ndani. Yote mpaka huko sita. Kweli, yes.
So we were winning.
True. What happened?
Over the time, we assumed. Some people were studying us. We became a study case. They started learning us. How do you do it? Which speed do you use in the first lap? Second lap? Where are you positioned? You see, we were being studied. And there it is. That is technology. They put it and they study us. And that is what I'm saying. Not only now that, they are studying us in many other events. We are, as a country, we are number one, yes. When you are number one, you become a study case. Number two wants to be number one. So ideally, we must realize that being number one, there is pressure. And that pressure can only be sustained through employing technology. You can able to see how your athlete is competing and where to improve. And you also compare with your opponents, study your opponents at the same time. You know, all that must come with the resources. You have a team, you guys must be there. You know, like journalists, they must be there looking and, you know, really going out to every event and telling us what's happening, who is training where. You know, it's almost like I can say espionage.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
You must get out of your way to study your opponents. We are number one in Africa, number two in the entire world. That sends a very serious message to the world that this is Kenya. This is a powerhouse in the sports. So we need to employ technology because we are number one. We need to employ technology to retain our position and to improve on our position because we need to only beat ourselves.
Very true. Yes. I'm looking at also the preparations. 2028 is just in the next under 4 years. We have the Commonwealth Games, we have the Youth Olympics, and those will be our yardsticks to see and select maybe and see how we'll perform in LA 2028. Yeah. How are the preparations? Of course, you're having meetings with federations, and of course, you are getting teams ready for these particular games. How do we look like in terms, as of now, of course, as we look into now 2026 for these particular competitions?
We are starting first of all, Kolanda, with the African Youth Games in Angola, which are happening in December. You know, and the Youth Games in Angola is for me a yardstick to Youth Olympics, which are happening next year in Dakar. Dakar is the major yardstick to LA 2028 because it will be now almost like 2 years. 2026, 2027, and we are there. So the team that is going to perform in Angola,
yes.
It's actually going to tell me where we will be in Dakar.
Dakar, correct. Right? The Youth Olympics.
The team that will go in Dakar next year, it will tell me how many medals I'll be getting in LA.
Correct.
So it will give me that matrix, yeah. So I'll be able now to look into where do I need as a National Olympic Committee, where do I need touching and pressing buttons, yeah. So every day the preparations are in high gear. So there is no sleeping. Work starts now, and that is why this symposium, this mission today, this committee, what's going on today,
Conference, yes.
federations meeting, presidents and secretary generals, is very important for me, because it is them who have the athletes. It is them who I need to understand how they are preparing these athletes. Then I come in, really hard on them.
Very true. And of course, in this seminar and conference, I've just picked up from, of course, there was a CEO of the Paris Olympics,
Yes.
Madame Wanjiru Mbugwa Karani, of course, who was explaining the whole report and the successes they were able to achieve. The media liaison, exactly, CEO at that particular time, the CMD is saying. What lessons did we learn from the Paris Olympics that you think will be very key for us in LA 2028?
What I learned, because I was a CDM,
Yes,
I was a chair
correct.
for the Paris Olympics, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot in terms of preparations, and that is why you can see we were a bit late in preparing our teams in LA. This time around, because I was a CDM, I know we are starting preparations early now.
Yes.
Because the pathway is there already. Every discipline knows which event is a qualifier. Every discipline, every person who is inside this conference, every president knows which events are qualifier events for the Olympics. So those are the ones which I'm going to target to ensure that every federation participates in those qualifier events. Because as I said, we were represented in Paris by six federations.
Yes.
I'm targeting 12. I'm targeting 12 federations, at least, if not more, for Kenya to be represented in LA. And it can be more, as long as we start preparing early and ensuring that all the events that are qualifier events are the federations participate in them.
Very true. How important is the relationship between National Olympic Committee and the government, National Olympic Committee and the private sector, the National Committee and this other sports ecosystem? How important it is? Because I've seen this morning, earlier on, we had the CEO of Jubilee Holdings Limited, Dr. Julius Kipngetich, sharing, of course, the experiences and actually putting sports federation on the spot. In fact, I was hearing, they were telling cycling that Jubilee wants to sponsor you, but they have not seen your proposal. How important is this relationship? Because I know you've worked together. Paris Olympics, you had to work with the government to see whatever. And of course, LA Olympics with the CS and the PS coming here. That means there is that relationship that, of course, will be very necessary towards LA 2028.
I will say, I'll start with my relationship with the government. You saw CS here, a very good guy. I mean, CS himself is also calling the corporate world. Like, I want you to come on board. So Honorable Mvuria, fantastic guy, is actually put the sports at his heart.
Yes.
He's there ensuring that we succeed, and we are working very closely with the CS, because at the end of the day, that's our mother ministry. We are his people.
True.
I only assemble people, but at the end of the day, they belong to the government.
True.
So he is actually our minister, and he's a guy but he's very supportive. So he's working to ensure that we succeed. He's doing the things different this time around. Yes. I can tell you that.
Very true.
We are lucky to have him, and we want also to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya,
yes,
for giving us such a focused minister who understands very well where we need to go as sportsmen, and is handling it as an industry, because this is a big industry. With the kind of a guy he is and the approach he's given it, trust me, you will see the industry grow. Yeah. And to me, corporate world and the government world, the government is bringing in the corporate world. The NOCK is also, it's a tripartite.
Yes.
So we are one thing, and the confidence now they have with the NOCK it's amazing, because we have demonstrated that we are accountable, and we have also shown that we mean well to grow the sport in our country. And they have been waiting for this space to come on board. They have been wanting a team that is committed to developing the sport. And when you look at the composition of the current NOCK, for example, it is the presidents of federation themselves. Start with the president of NOCK, go down. It's everybody is representing a federation. So we are the biggest stakeholders. we know where the shoe pinches.
Yes.
Yes.
Very true.
So we are working as a team, and we want to welcome the corporate world to come and start working with us. And through you, Kolanda, and your team, you must start now looking at how do we make NOCK, for example, look clean. How do we attract the corporate world?
Yes.
It is through you, Kolanda, and your colleagues that we can attract more corporate world through positive reporting. When you have positive reporting, then we'll be able to attract more sponsorship. We'll be able now to grow the sport into greater heights.
Very true. Yes. My last question is not even a question. Of course, I'd never gotten an opportunity to say congratulations for being the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. I've never congratulated you. Congratulations to you. And of course, a lot of people have a lot good expectation from you. Yes. And of course, they are here. Please talk to them. My audience is out here. Yes. They would like to hear your again your assurance that umekalia kiti venye umekalia hivi na utapeleka email ya NOCK mbele vizuri.
Thank you so much, my fellow Kenyans. I want to assure you that as the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, I will grow the sports in this country together with the government of the Republic of Kenya through the Ministry of Sports led by Honorable Mvurya. We are working closely together to ensure that we grow the sports together. Each talent counts. Each talent of every individual in our country counts. So that is why we are going to a grassroots level everywhere, because even Mvurya, our Honorable Minister, stated today very clearly that we are building infrastructure, we are building stadiums in every other area so that we can attract that talent. So what I can assure my fellow Kenyans is that we are out there developing the sport, and we will develop together with you also. Make sure that you see us, we work together closely with the collaborations, and we grow our nation in terms of sports development. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
That is the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, my very good friend, Bona Shadrack Maluki, of course, shared with us this wonderful National Olympic Committee story, and of course, the path, the road towards 2028 LA Olympic Games. Watch this space.
Asante.